Hello. Here's a recap of my week. I went over to a friend's house and we just made an absolute feast and stuffed ourselves. I was so happy. And then we went to a language exchange session. Germans who want to learn Korean, vice versa. That was my cheat note. It was a massive smack in the face. I really need to learn German. So it was a great motivation. And the next day, I had the Berlin and Hamburg trip. So I just devoured everything that was in the fridge. Pretty healthy, to be honest. And that was my little snack box. I have the tendency to arrive to the train station like 30 minutes before because, German trains are not really reliable and there's that sunrise. And yeah, just me eating sandwich and getting blinded by the sun. But welcome to Berlin. This is the capital city of Germany. Everything looks grand, very fancy, and the artistic murals and graffiti art looked great. It looks very intentional, because there's so many, and there's a lot of butterflies too, which I found it quite magical. And this is the hostel that I came in. I came early, so I stored my bag in their temporary storage unit and just wandered around. Got into a cafe, and they make decent coffee here, and that made me very happy because I really missed it. And everyone greets you in English, so you can pretty much get by with zero German. And there's lots of restaurants, bakeries, cafes, people dressed really cool, pottery, design, jewelry, what have you. It's just inspiration after inspiration, just smacked in the face. And small businesses, big businesses, just really cool stuff to look at. And this day was glorious, but it was 33 degrees. It was boiling hot. And I don't know, you know me with my, difficulty enduring heat. But other than that, it was great. Wandered around, looked into possible musical theaters, and popped into another cafe thinking I have the absolute time in the world. I will check in early. This is great. What a leisurely day I'm spending. And then I realized that I went to the wrong hostel. And my actual hostel is an hour drive by bus. And, I'm just kicking myself in the foot. Why did I do that? What made me think that I was in that hostel? I don't know. I just kind of wasted my time in this little street whilst I enjoyed it. And I spilt that cold brew on my shirt. So I'm a little pissed, but what can you do? You can't really do anything but move on. Things happen when you're traveling. And this little detour gave me a little glimpse of what the residential areas looked like. This would be my reality if I actually decide to come and live here. And all in all, everything looked good. But there's a hint of marijuana in the air, which I am not the biggest fan of. I just don't like smoking in general. And this is the actual hostel that I was supposed to go to. So I checked in and just wandered around. This part of the city was a little bit more scary, I think. Lots of homeless people, people on skateboards, just smoking marijuana casually. And yeah, lots of constructions. Really, really dirty streets. But there's a big mall, and it looks more developed, more futuristic compared to Frankfurt, definitely. I mean, look at that interior design. But yeah, I felt quite out of place, to be honest, because of how flamboyant everyone's dressed. And yeah, look at that girl with dreadlocks, and it's got character, it's got history, it's got personality. But I don't know, I just felt you will either hate it or love it when you're in Berlin. And I wasn't really gravitating towards the love it part. But there's that iconic, mural. And that's just me touching the Berlin Wall. And I managed to meet up with a friend called Bren, who was very kindly introduced by one of my other friends, and she just gave me her life story, what she found difficult, what she found helpful, and how much she loves living in Berlin for 5 years. She studied media, and she just gave me a hint of a reality of like what the life would be here like. It was very insightful, very helpful, really, and she's so nice too. And it's really good to know that there could be somebody if I do decide to move here. That's the leftover from the dinner that we had. We went to a Korean fusion place. I tried to heat it up in that pot of water because I didn't have any microwave. And the night before, there was a girl that was snoring all night long. Hence the reason why I'm so puffy, sleep deprived, not really feeling like eating. But that little cloud over there, not little, but I underestimated it because it started to downpour like crazy. Raining cats and dogs. I was quite scared to get out of the bus, to be honest, but I had to. And thank goodness I had my trusty old umbrella that I got from Prague whilst battling through that another session of rain. But it was insane, just insane, and my poor little shoes just going through shit with me, and that I felt sorry for that lady. But what can you do? And then it cleared up like nothing happened. Is this Auckland? Auckland's not even this bad. But once it cleared up, everything looked really nice. And I found refuge at this little cafe, had a tiramisu and a flat white, and just wandered around the city. I really liked how this marketing was. You look like you need a coffee. Yeah, I do. All the time. But yeah, this is Mite. I was heading towards the Museum Island. It's a central area where there's a collection of 5 mega museums, I believe, that showcases a variety of artifacts in history. I went to the Alte Museum, and yeah, it's just really cool. You get to see some of the remaining history buildings that survived the war and that are part of the constructions that people walk along today, and it's really cool. Yeah, here's me touching. I like to touch. And lots of people busking as well, just adding that extra touch to the atmosphere. I really like it. And I was just on my way to the museum. This particular museum showcased the Roman arts, the sculptures, the artifacts, the remaining parts of the history, the Greek mythology, all that. And I thought it was a really good way for me to have a glimpse of what is offered at, like, in Rome itself, potentially saving me a few bucks to spend at the country, but I don't know. I doubt it. I'm probably gonna buy another ticket in Italy and just see this again, but I was told it's pretty much the same. So if you ever want to just like have a taster of what the Roman arts are like in Germany, just spend a bit, like 11 euros here. It's worth it. I had a good time. And a cute lady that I took photos of took my photo. And yeah, when you look at the sky, it's like, what, it rained? I don't think so. The train stations in Berlin is also very fancy. It looks very futuristic too. Very clean. And here's the Brandenburg Gate. Instagram versus reality. It was closed off for the Eurogame screening, so I couldn't even get close. So I headed off to the memorial of the murdered Jews. And I went to other parts of the outskirts of the city. I purposely put this in my itinerary because, like, I gotta see what my life would be like. And as you can see, graffiti's like literally everywhere is part of the culture, and I don't know if I like it. Like, I don't see the beauty in it. People say it's really, quirky, grungy. I love it, but I don't love it. I like things clean, pristine, and just like really nice to look at. And just overall, the streets are quite boring. It's flat. I understand why people say Frankfurt seems like the actual city with the high-rise buildings and stuff. Everything's quite outdated, looks quite old. They call it vintage. I call it very slow to the game. But that was my dinner. And the next day I woke up with an insane twitching eye. My eye tend to do that, especially my right one, whenever I'm stressed, sleep deprived, and just very tired. And I was recommended this cafe that apparently tasted like New Zealand and Australian coffee by Bren, and she was right. It tasted exactly like home. And it also seemed like the locals, the Germans, loved the taste of New Zealand coffee as well. So that was very interesting to see. And I got on a bus and then I went to the other side of the residential areas that I wanted to kind of scout out. And before I did that, I went to the central part of the Berlin and just wrote down my thoughts. My eye was just going crazy. It was just tiring me out. And to be honest, I didn't know what to think about it. I was skeptical. Do I fit into the vibe of Berlin energy? I've always wanted creative, like-minded people around me. So even if I just sit at a park, I could be inspired in some way. But I don't know. The city didn't feel comforting or welcoming for me. I felt very out of place. I didn't know how to, react because everyone's very energetic and yeah. Well, I ended up getting that magnesium tablet because my eye was just having a fit. And I checked out and made my way to Hauptbahnhof to go to Hamburg. And this is Hamburg. Hamburg is completely different to Berlin. First of all, everything's so clean. So clean, so pristine. And this was the moment where I was like, damn, am I back in Auckland? Because you see the harbor, you see the bridge, you see sails. It literally just looked like the Viaduct Tower in Auckland CBD. And, Mission Bay, it could be. So it was like a mixture of like Auckland and European vibes with the architecture. And I felt like I came back home. But then the thing is, I'm back home. But no one's here. None of my family, friends were here. And that was just a little massive realization that I had whilst I was walking around. I was obviously happy. Lots of music. Good vibes. People were generally more happier here than any other cities that I've been to. But yeah, it made me really, really think about, do I want to live here? I don't know. Do I feel comfortable? I do. But do I have the energy to make new friends here? I don't know. Let's just put that thought on hold and just, walk around a bit more. But yeah, whilst I was walking along this little place, a photographer was like, hey, can I take photos of you? And I'm like, who? Me? I'm like, I barely have any makeup on. Are you sure? And he was like, yeah, I just want to practice my photography. And I'm like, okay, sure. It was fun. It was awkward. It was quite different standing in front of the camera whilst I've always been behind the camera. But the photos I got were really cool. I love the dramatic lighting. So, yay. Again, it's so peaceful here. And I don't know, I really liked the vibe. People here, you look at them and oh, they're rich. It gave me a vibe of like the North Shore in Auckland. Yeah, so that's why I think I was a bit more nostalgic and a bit emotional a little bit. And what my sister would say is, Eugen, you're having your main character moment and you're crying in Europe rather than crying in Auckland. So it's okay. But the next day I had the hostel breakfast and I headed off to this cafe that was recommended by a friend that I was supposed to meet. But she caught COVID, so I couldn't. So I just enjoyed myself here. This place is legit. They roast their own coffee beans, and majority of the cafes here in Germany sell their own coffee beans. So you know they take their coffee seriously. And the friend recommended me to visit this building. It used to be a bunker and they turned it into a hotel. It's due to finish, but it's open to the public until I think the end of next month or something. Lots of stairs, insane amount of stairs, no elevators. But there is like a little bunker museum segment here that is used for educational purposes, tourism. You can see like students here learning about the history. And again, I'm just touching everything that I can. And they also have a cafe too. And it's like a mixture, juxtaposition of like Mother Nature and nearly ruined human creation, like so the building itself, like the concrete building. And you get insane panoramic, that's a hard word, panoramic views. And yeah, it was good. Would I go again? Not really. Did I get my workout in? Yes, I did. And I ventured throughout the residential areas around here as well. More, it's cool. Graffiti, yeah, but like I don't feel very, taken back by it. And I, searched up some musical theaters and made a point to actually visit there and ask them if they do any internship, part-time jobs. I told them my background and my endeavors and if they ever have any opportunities here. And he's telling me, you can go to our website. This is the positions that we're hiring, but everything's closed. We're closed for the summer holidays and you will only get a response maybe mid-September, October maximum. The HR people are gone. So it made me again think like, damn, if I want to come here, I gotta drop everything and really go all in or not at all. So whilst that was at the back of my head, I had the Lion King musical to view. So I caught the ferry that was organized by the musical, and we went on the other side of the harbor. And yeah, I was excited. I heard great things about this musical, but everything was again in German. And it was good because it made me focus more on the actual design part, like the set design, the lighting, and how the engineering and the functionality of the set moved and accommodated a variety of scenes. So I really want to kind of give this a go. That is a definite. And the next day I went to another cafe that my friend suggested, wrote down some of my thoughts. I was going through a bit because I didn't know what to do. Like I want to come, but I was scared. I was scared if I would be able to put in the same amount of effort, the same amount of excitement, and just like socialize and make my community again. Because in Frankfurt, I'm really happy. I love the people that I've met and built friendship with. But the residential areas here aren't that bad either. Like I felt safe. And no one smokes marijuana here. And whilst I was here, I just thought it made more sense for me to actually visit the friend that I was supposed to meet. So there she is. She's Fancy. She's really lovely. We had a really wholesome encounter, just screaming at each other. I looking up to her balcony, and it was really sweet. So I think just overall it's great that I would have someone in both cities if I decide to choose anywhere between them. I think it was mostly the mental conflict of, am I being a pussy and not challenging myself for the greater good? Or is this a sign for me to be somewhat grateful for what I have been given? I had lots of praying and self-reflection to do on my way back to Frankfurt. And after service, the church people and we went to a small town called Kronberg, socialized, and then a bunch of us went touring in the little town. It's really picturesque, and what I've noticed is that the fact that I had some people to chat with and all get excited about something that we're saying, it kind of hit me that, oh yeah, I am quite lonely here, and I do desire companionship, whether it be for traveling or just as part of my lifestyle. So, like how I have presumed, this was the moment where I realized, yeah, I think I'm gonna stay in Frankfurt, because it's lonesome sometimes, and it's good to have people around you. Anyways, that evening, it was the finals show for the Euro Cup. So a bunch of us went to the fan zone by the Main River and drew a little Spain flag on our face. And it was just really cool to, watch the show live, and also to kind of fully embrace the celebratory moment. And I'm actually glad that I didn't watch any other game except for the finals, because it was the first and last time I got to experience the adrenaline. And obviously Spain won, but yeah, it was such a great memory. Writing pros and cons, journaling, praying for the entire day, I have decided that I will remain in Frankfurt. I feel like this is the best way, because even saying it out loud, I feel the sense of calm. Because number one, right now in Hamburg, there is no job opportunities because everyone's on holiday, and anything could happen, but it would be more of a rushed process because I don't have a place to stay and I need to have a job in order to prove that I can pay the rent. So right now, my current situation provides me time, connections, and I am not pressured to do anything drastically, immediately, spur of the moment kind of vibe. And I will still keep an eye out on any theater related job opportunities from Hamburg, and maybe I will send my application and see where that goes. But I just need to constantly remind myself that this entire year is for me, and this is a situation where I gifted myself, hey, try new things, take it slow and have fun. And I don't know why I am constantly feeling rushed, I feel like I need to do something. And I have been doing something. I've been playing a lot by myself, and I want to have this sense of being part of something, have a sense of routine now, and I just want to feel the norms again, and then build more connections, and then hopefully by the end of the year or early next year I can have actually a great group of friends that I can go traveling with. My decision could appear a little bit rushed, especially deciding where to stay and stuff, but to be honest, it's something that I've constantly wondered even before the trip and even during the trip. I don't know, I feel more safe in this city. Also, reflecting back, I find it quite ironic because all my life in New Zealand I've wanted to have something new, this sense of adventure, something different, not just grass, sheep and honey and fish and chips and stuff. But look at me now, all I want is to go home, see my family, see my friends. I mean, I can do, but I've only been here for a month and a half. Going back now kind of feels a little bit pathetic. That's why I want to kind of be here and see where the next steps takes me. And also, I've always wanted to be in a place where no one knew me, nobody knew me, and that's exactly what I had. And I've just been whining and bitching and just crying over how alone I am. Isn't it so funny how humans want something that they can't have, or they end up feeling grateful for what they had, but they weren't appreciative of it when they actually had it. So it's just something that I find reoccurring in my life, and I think it's just a reminder from God telling me to be more attentive to what He is providing me and what I am blessed with, and not take things for granted. It's just not taking things for granted is something that I try to live by as much as possible, especially when it comes to human interactions and stuff. Yes, I make mistakes, especially because when I was at the peak of my social mode, I kind of went in my head, and sometimes I would blurt things out without filtering, and it's just making me become more self-aware of how I am acting and how I might be perceived. I want to be more careful
am more selective with anything that's coming out of my mouth, to be honest. Sometimes I could be really blunt, rude in a way, and I am recognizing that there are so many variety of personalities and types of people around the world, and some people I gel with, some people I don't. And from there, I'm learning mature ways to kindly cut the ties with them or put pause on the friendship and like put all my energy and effort into the friendship that I want to pursue. So in hindsight, the whole month and a half-ish has been very, very great for me in terms of self-development. I want to keep my mental state as calm as possible and keep reminding myself to always go back to God. It's because it all starts from here, and I have the tendency to feel rushed to make any form of decision where no one's really pressuring me or pushing me to. It's just in my head. So I am trusting to believe that this sense of calm stability that I'm feeling in Frankfurt is the feeling that God is giving me, and I am choosing to remain grateful and choosing to think positively, not rush, take things step by step and just see where it takes me. I don't want to be dwelled too much on the job aspect. I want to give myself this sense of freedom of time, freedom of choices, and going with my gut. Yeah, so that's the plan. Now begins the search of a somewhat affordable, good location flat. Then the next step is find a job. But I also want to study German like properly, and there is an academy where they provide 3 months of intensive course, and that's nearly 1,000 euros. And I did the online level test, and I did like a month and a half in New Zealand, but I guess it wasn't enough because I'm still level A1. German's hard, but I'm motivated. I really want to learn the language because during the Lion King performance, everyone's laughing because the actor made a joke, but clearly I don't understand what he's saying. So I was the only one who was not laughing, and I felt stupid. Well, I mean, of course, I'm in Germany. I'm the imposter, but I felt mad. I'm like, oh, this stupid language, let me learn it. And like, I honestly don't know what my life within the year is gonna be like, but the least I want to get out of this is learn the language. You know, it's like an investment to myself. Then I'll be trilingual. How cool is that? Yeah, I'm just really telling myself to remain positive because I know it's gonna be hard, but I just want to have fun. Don't stress over it. It's gonna be fine. It's not the end of the world, okay? No one's dying. So yeah, that's the update.